That kind of nerd. Let's start the show with comics, movies, and technology. Here we go, bringing you the segments that you're looking for, like Cape Talk, Screen to Stream, Tech Perspective, and more. Cast this nerd degree and the blockbuster. Welcome to the club, cause you're that kind of nerd.
Welcome, everyone, to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Ryan Thornton.
What up?
I got a bouncy ball.
I got a wallet. I drive a car.
Got an eyeball
It's
in
got
it.
an eyeball. It's
Halloween.
like a
It's-
koosh,
Here's the
koosh
question.
eyeball.
When you bounce it, does the eyeball glow, or is it just the eyeball?
The eyeball does glow when you bounce.
That's important. That's what you
It
need.
does little flashies like a
Right.
red and blue and green.
Like a strobe light thing. Yes.
Yes.
Those are the
Like
best.
spooky.
Hey, since it is the month of November, there are a lot of things going on. There's No Shave November. There's, something else we can't talk about, but it has to do with RedTube and not doing that. But that also means that Brian, like a scholar poring over the ancient text, has looked at to what is coming to the movie theaters in the month of November, and he gladly presents to you the blockbuster.
I have also unlocked the secrets of the Iron Fist, which is exciting. I look forward to using it once a season.
From the ancient scrolls.
I still believe that you could do a better job than the show we saw earlier.
Whatever that pattern of speech was there needs to get the fuck out of here.
And I had always thought that CJ introduced the blockbuster, and now I'm doing it. It's very weird.
Always. Meaning every month for the past 5 years.
I don't like doing the
This
the
is your only job.
proctoring. This is not my only job. You have me do so many jobs that are not recorded. I do so much for you.
He's got to sit there and look pretty. That's tough.
You lead one segment a month.
I do so much heavy lifting. Listeners, there would be no show without my genius. Let's be honest.
Talk about movies.
Well, yeah, I love talking about movies. I actually just watched Halloween. That's a great movie. Do you want to talk about that? Oh no, you want to talk about next month? Movies coming out next month.
The blockbuster.
This month.
'Cause
This
we're-
month, because it's
we're in
November
the month of
4th.
November. Correct.
Gotcha.
Yep.
We're in the month of November.
That's correct.
So November 1st already happened.
I don't know how to edit this out, but yes, this is what's
And
happening.
Motherless Brooklyn already came out. And you listeners probably did not go see it. And I don't blame you. I don't know what it's about.
I don't know
it's got Ed
either,
Norton.
and I want to know.
It's got Ed Norton.
Written and directed by Ed Norton. Like, it's about a guy who has Tourette's, but also is in the mafia.
Okay.
Well,
I would imagine that would get you in some sticky situations. If you can't...
like the one trailer where he was just pulling that string, pulling that in.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is happening? What's happening?
You're ruining a perfectly good garment with your Tourette's as well.
Calm
Yeah, no
down,
one's going to see
Rivers.
this. I'm sorry. It's not going to make any money, but I know it's like his passion project. Oh, also, he's still bitter about the Hulk thing, so we'll just leave that normal.
Yeah, he's
alone.
bitter about life. But, listeners, you may have seen Terminator Dark Fate, and I don't blame you. Because it's Terminator.
Terminator.
And I hope it was good, because even though I liked Genesis, a lot of people didn't.
Not like Genesis.
So Terminator Dark Fate also comes out. I will be trying to go see it. My week is a little packed, but I will most certainly try. Gentlemen,
I'm on the. If I don't.
I mean,
yeah.
it's an A-list movie.
I mean,
Come on,
yeah,
man.
no,
Yeah.
I'll- if I find the time, I will go see it. But I'm not making the time to go see it.
If I
No.
find the time, whatever. You have 2 kids, a job, a podcast, and a wife that you have to tend to. You have nothing but time, sir.
You now have all but one of those things.
I know, right? It's weird. Also, if you're in the mood for some historical dramas,
well,
you can see Harriet.
I think we're using the word historical really.
I don't know. Listen, I don't know. Just by the trailers, I figured I don't know shit about Harriet Tubman. I thought I knew,
Right.
but I don't know absolutely nothing.
Forget
And
everything you knew about Harriet Tubman. Apparently, I don't know a lot.
Here's my question. Have you guys seen trailers for this movie?
Yes.
The movie is called Harriet,
yeah.
Yes.
but at the end of the trailer, they always say, Harriet, her time is now. And I don't know if that's a subtitle or a tagline or maybe the guy in the recording booth just felt a little squirrely that day and threw in an extra line. I don't know, but it feels like it's a subtitle, to which I say, no longer can we say Electric Boogaloo. I want to say Her Time Is Now after everything.
All right. I'm with you for that one.
Every sequel.
Her time is now.
Exactly. I will allow you to change the pronoun depending on the people, Bar Food Feast 2. Their time is now.
So the next movie, Arctic Dogs, will be Arctic Dogs 2. Their time is now.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. Which Arctic Dogs all
wait, hold on. Harold and Kumar 2. Their time is now. Oh, yeah, it works. That works out really well.
It works, right?
Yeah, all right. I'm with
It
you.
works almost as well as Electric Boogaloo. I'm
That's
saying.
true. Yep.
Arctic Dogs also comes out came out this past Friday. And it's probably already out of theaters. So hope those 3 people enjoyed it. November 8th, there's some stuff coming out. I will talk about the 2 things we've already spoken about, which the first one is Midway, the movie about the attack incoming before Pearl Harbor. We talked about it. No one was enthused. Moving on. Playing with Fire also comes out.
That's Playing with Fire. Oh,
that's the John Cena movie with the kids.
That's right.
And he's like, I'm really mean. And they're like, no, you're not. You're a sweetheart.
Let's test something. Playing with Fire 2. His time is now. Yeah, this really does work.
I know, right?
All right.
You 2 have children. Will you be taking
Allegedly.
them to see this? Allegedly. You allegedly have children. Will you be taking them to see John Cena?
No.
Yeah,
Playing with Fire?
I don't see why not.
All right.
You keep saying no. No. Why no?
This movie looks so dumb.
Well,
I mean, he does have girls, though.
It's a PG movie, dude.
Okay. Looks really dumb. I don't think my kids don't sit through
I know.
movies.
I know why. First off, they do. They sat through Aladdin. Secondly, I know why. I know the bigger reason why CJ won't see Playing with Fire, won't take his kids. Because when they leave the theater and he goes to the 6-year-old, I don't know what the thing is. I couldn't see anybody in that movie. Lily won't get the joke and he'll be very upset.
That's right.
That's why. I cracked the code.
Let's talk about good movies on November 8th.
Good movies. Actually, a movie that I am excited about is Last Christmas, starring Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name, mother of
Emilia
dragons,
Clarke?
breaker of chains, and Electric Boogaloo, and Her Time Is Now. Emilia Clarke. And Henry Golding, who is just blowing up everywhere. This looks like a sweet Christmas movie. And Last Christmas. I mean, come on, it's a great song. I don't see why this shouldn't be on everybody's list.
What was the movie that she was in with the paraplegic and
Oh, that's I know what you're talking about. It's something with an M. I want to say me or my or myself is in it.
Yeah,
It wasn't like
that.
Before You or something like
Me
that?
Before You.
Me Before You.
There it goes.
Okay, so she was, and Emilia Clarke was also in Terminator Genisys.
Genisys!
Which continues to prove that she just can't pick movies.
Oh, come on.
Therefore,
that wasn't her fault. Dude,
yes, it was.
Dude, no, dude.
Yes, it was.
Dude, studio comes up to you, says, hey, would you like to play one of the baddest female heroines of all time? Do you actually say no to that?
No, but then you read the
Hi,
script.
we'd
and you're
like you to play Sarah Connor.
Yeah, but then you read a script, you're like, oh, I'm not actually. Okay, no, thank you. No, so she can't pick good movies, and for that reason, I'm out.
You are a fool and a moron, and I truly respect your opinion, except for this.
So Brian, you think you're gonna enjoy this, do you?
I think I will at least have a good time.
I mean, you realize this is a Paul Feig movie, right?
Paul Feig. Oh, is it really?
Is it Feig?
It's a Paul Feig movie?
Yeah.
I will give him a shot for Emilia Clarke because I think she's delightful.
You are just desperate.
She is delightful, and Henry Golding's delightful too, except when he's being accused of murder in A Simple Favor. Other than that, he's wonderful.
I just didn't. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was good in The Simple Favor. I haven't seen Crazy Rich Asians.
That was good.
But
Enjoyable.
I don't know. I'm not gonna go see this for sure.
You're both the worst, but that's fine. You both won't go see Dr. Sleep as well, which is the sequel to The Shining.
Correct.
starring Ewan McGregor.
Yeah,
I
it's not-
appreciate
which
the movie.
I will be
definitely not
going to
happening.
see.
I am not seeing that movie. No, thank you.
You guys are uncultured swines. You know that?
Uncultured swine?
Wow.
Yes.
No. Don't Mr. Potato Head me. And also, it's a Don Rickles thing, but fine. I know you got it from the Mr. Potato Head. Don't you do that to me.
Okay. CJ.
I'm really excited for the last movie. It's got a limited release on November 8th, okay? We've talked about it, but Honey Boy has a limited release. This is the Shia LaBeouf autobiographical movie where he plays his own dad, and it looks really fucking good. If this is in a theater by me, I'm not going to see anything else on November 8th. I will go see Honey Boy. It looks really good.
CJ's totally seeing Playing with Fire on November 8th.
You go to hell.
I'm very tempted to put
Here's
it on a Patreon
the rest of my
poll.
family goes to go see Playing with Fire. I go see Honey Boy.
Very tempted to put it on a Patreon poll right now.
Oh God.
Anyway, I believe that Wednesday something's happening, November 12th. I think I'm picking up my dry cleaning that day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I may go home and watch Disney Plus because Disney Plus launches on November 12th. With that, Lady and the Tramp, the Disney Plus movie, and Noelle are both dropping.
And that's Anna Kendrick, right?
It
Mhm.
is.
Yeah.
I'll be watching both of them.
Oh,
because
Billy Eichner and Bill Hader as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had me at Anna Kendrick.
Oh,
but I'm
well,
in-
for
I'm into
sure.
this movie.
Yeah. No, I definitely think that's going to be funny. We talked about Lady and the Tramp, what, a week or two ago?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think we already know what camps we fall in on that. Moving on. That Friday, November 15th, the most important movie of the month comes out, and it's Charlie's Angels, starring Naomi Scott, Kristen Stewart,
Stop
and
it.
Elizabeth Banks.
Stop it.
No way.
Why?
Stop it.
We talked about this, and we all said this looks good.
Yes.
I-
However, comma,
stop it.
Josh.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Thank you.
It's no. It's that no.
You're out of
I
your
could-
mind. Out of your mind.
Okay, yeah, I'm out of my mind saying this is a movie that can wait.
This movie can wait?
It can wait until HBO.
The hell with you.
You are
absolutely
directly
can.
out of your mind.
What the hell? You're
It's-
going to see a Paul Feig movie? You don't think this is... Are you really Brian? Who
Yeah,
are you and what have you done with Brian?
with Brian?
Did you go to Barbados and get a personality swap? What happened?
I mean, I can't confirm or
You-
deny that I'm a changed man.
Honestly,
Dude, Christian Bale, Matt Damon, John Bernthal, Josh Lew. It's got a great cast.
Yeah, but it's got Ford and Ferrari. I don't give a shit about cars.
Oh, it's a great story.
I will take your word for it.
Here's the thing. Honestly, for these two movies, that weekend, if I go see a movie, the reviews are what's going to tilt me to one or the other. Because I have a feeling that Ford versus Ferrari has the possibility of being really bad, but so does Charlie's Angels. They're both a crapshoot. So whichever has the better reviews is going to get my time.
I actually agree with that. If it gets good reviews, I'll try to make it out to the theater.
I mean,
All right.
seriously, one of these movies is going to be rated better than the other, so that'll
It's clearly
probably
going to
make
be
my decision.
Charlie's Angels.
Charlie's
Right.
Angels is automatically it receives like several notches bumped down the list because Kristen Stewart.
Well,
She's
you
gotten
can't do
better.
that. She's gotten a
Not
lot
much.
better.
No, not much. I
No,
agree with you
a
on
lot
that.
better.
Not
No, she's gotten better. Not a lot better, but
Marginally
Mm.
better.
yes.
What's the last movie either of you watched her in?
Adventureland.
Okay, that was even before
what was the one
Twilight.
with the punk rock where she was like a
No,
Or
the
was it On the
Runaways.
Open
Yeah,
Road?
she played Joan Jett in the Runaways.
that
That's
was
the
it.
Runaways. Also, like in the middle of her Twilight days. So a decade. It's been a decade since you've seen a movie with her in it.
Because she's not good in almost like I liked her in Adventureland, but beyond that,
She's been a lot better.
okay,
Trust me. Trust me.
she's still making angsty, pissy faces here. I don't know.
While I continue to be right in my righteous indignation about all the movies I've mentioned so far,
Sit there in your
November-
wrongness and be wrong and get used to it.
Thank you.
November 22nd will come.
Naomi
And
Scott.
on that day,
That's I'm on backwards. Write that down.
A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood comes out.
Yes, I'm like so excited for this.
And, everybody will cry,
I'm not
except
gonna
for me,
not
because
gonna
I'm
say-
apparently cold. But
Josh is
if you don't
anti-
feel like...
No, hold on, we're not going to glaze over the fact that
We absolutely
Mr.
are. We already talked about
Anti-Tom
Beautiful
Hanks
Day in the
over
Neighborhood.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's anti-Tom Hanks. We talked about this last time when the trailer dropped, and we said, you're a terrible person.
I'd rather see this 21 Bridges movie.
That looks awful. It's by the producers of the something of the dog's
The something of the
cat's
place with
best
the thing?
friend. You know what that movie is? 21 Bridges.
One for the studio.
No, it's not one for the studio. It's one that they were never going to release because, wow, this is garbage. And then Black Panther happened, and then they're like, well, maybe we should release this. And then Avengers happened, and they're like, well, we totally should release this because we got these 3 people attached to it, and that's how we're going to advertise it. This movie has been in the can for a year and a half. They haven't done anything with it. This movie is going to be awful. I am already awful.
I'll agree to that.
But my wife still loves me.
And thanks for making us your walk around the neighborhood or drive to work. Brian's awful. Okay, bye!
Anyway, if you don't want to see all of that, you can go see Frozen 2 with your kids, because Frozen.
Hold on. Frozen 2. Her time is now.
Right.
Yeah, again, it works.
I'm not going to spend any time on Frozen 2. I mean, do I have to?
No, because everybody's going to pay to go
this?
see it, except me. I'm not going to see it.
Okay. November 27th, another movie we talked about comes out. It looks enjoyable. Knives Out.
I'm excited for that.
I mean, it's not something I'm going to be pushing little children out of the way to go see.
You know what? You eat shit. You eat shit. You definitely eat shit. You eat shit. That right there sold me on the movie. I'm done. I'm already in.
You're a very easy sell.
Plus, Daniel Craig doing another Southern accent. He's really good at them.
And I don't hate Rian Johnson.
No, I mean, I don't think Rian Johnson should be hated.
Amen.
It looks good. It looks good. It looks enjoyable. It looks fun. Great. You want to talk about great cast? This has got a great cast. It's got, Jamie Lee Curtis, Daniel Craig, Chris Evans, Don Johnson, Toni Collette. I can't even remember. There's a bunch of other people in there that I haven't even.
Oh, Michael Shannon, Christopher
Michael
Plummer,
Shannon, a ton of great people. Movie should be enjoyable. It is a modern day Clue. I think we are all on board for seeing it. Can I get an amen?
You may have an amen.
All right. Moving on. If you feel like devoting 3.5 hours to something,
I do.
Then you can watch The Irishman in the comfort of your own home, Josh.
If you're Josh Burns, who watches everything and sometimes sleeps.
I don't know if I can do that.
Dude.
That's a huge chunk of time. Josh, that's 4 episodes of Doctor Who. I mean, come on.
No, I disqualify that statement because of Scorsese and because of this cast.
I'm not saying I should watch Doctor Who over it. I'm just saying.
He didn't mean that at all. He just really wants to piss me off. Okay, I see how it is.
My time is valuable.
This is a must-see. It's a must-see movie.
It is a must-see. I don't know if I can must-see it in one sitting.
I may watch it in chunks.
I watched all of Jack Ryan. I'm done. Right?
No one is surprised, Josh.
Sometimes it's important, Brian, to sacrifice sleep.
Listen, we all love Mom, okay? You don't have to sell us on Mom. We get it. This movie looks fantastic. You don't have to sell me on this movie. I think it's going to be great. You have to sell me on the runtime.
I think saying it's too big a time investment is, it's an insane statement. I just don't, no. Nope.
There's a lot. Brian, that's a lot coming out for the month of November. I mean, that's a lot.
Well, it makes sense. Yeah, because holidays and people have off. And you know what people do on Thanksgiving?
They subscribe to our Patreon to listen to an exclusive spoiler cast of one of these movies that we're about to pick?
Probably not, but they eat a shit ton of turkey. They watch football. They go to sleep. They go shopping. And then they go see a movie.
Be a shit show that
movies are huge this time of year. That's why there's so much coming out this month. And there will be a shit ton coming out next month, and then it'll be a Ghostland until March again.
Any movie I see for the entire, on a weekend, for the entire holiday season, if it's not in a theater that is exclusively reserved seats, I'm not going to see it.
Right, and thankfully now with our A-list situation that we now have the ability to buy tickets for each other, so this way we can all go see a movie together.
Yeah, we need to link that up so I can just buy CJ tickets for shit he doesn't want to see. CJ's going to see Playing with Fire today.
All right, so the movies this month for our Patreon exclusive spoiler cast is Terminator Dark Fate, Playing with Fire, thank you guys, Ford versus Ferrari, so take that, Brian, and A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, take that, Josh! So there you go. It's up to you, the people, to go ahead and vote, and then if you go to patreon.com/thatkindnerd and become a member, you will get this exclusive episode in your feed. So go, vote, tell us what to watch, and watch us do what we do. Well, now that we're done talking about movies, let's talk about movies and TV in a segment that we call Screen to Stream. So, in the news of TV movies, we got our first trailer for the new BBC series Dracula. created by none other than Doctor Who's and Sherlock's Stephen Moffat. Listen, first trailer is, I would say, more like a teaser. Like,
Yeah, it's teaser. No.
But looks cool. Definitely has that Moffat kind of feel to it. Looks intriguing and it's a little spooky.
It's fucking scary, dude.
It does definitely lean into the horror, bruh.
Yep.
It's like
This ain't your mama's Dracula, bruh.
No, they're putting their weight into it.
Plus everyone's British, so just world class TV. Very excited to see this. Do we have a release date? I just realized
Soon.
Oh, by the way, Josh, you'll be happy to know they are 3 90-minute episodes.
Yeah, they're doing the Sherlock formula.
You're correct, Brian. They are doing the Sherlock formula there to give it some better TVs. But it does. This looks like super creepy. It has a really horror feel to it. So that, I assume, Brian, means that you will actually watch this because it's horror related.
I have been getting very intensely into horror recently, but I don't know. I mean, I might watch it like
it's
when
like
it's
3 90-minute episodes. How could you
No,
not?
I feel you, but like I'm not like finding it on like
It's going to take
BBC
longer
One.
to watch that than it's going to take to watch The Irishman, by the way.
I legit am just gonna wait until it comes to Netflix, which is gonna be like another year.
Just in sheer volume.
That's true. It'll be longer by an hour.
But you don't have to watch it all in one sitting again.
That's true. That is also true. Very compelling points being made here. Just saying.
Joshua Burns!
Yeah.
Found this article in the show notes here that says the most underrated TV shows of 2019. But from my understanding, you're looking to take a slightly different twist on this Thrillist article.
Well, yes, I do. I want to talk about specifically how awful Thrillist lists are.
They always are terrible.
They're always terrible.
They really are bad. So there's a couple things I wanted to acknowledge here. How awful this list is one. There is a couple things in here that I really like. The Boys and Wu-Tang Clan.
I agree with two things on here.
Oh, I'm sorry, not the Wu-Tang Clan one. That's the other thing I wanted to say.
The Wu-Tang Clan one isn't even on here.
No, well, so they have the Showtime show on here, not the An American Saga show, Hulu, which is what I think should be on here. They also don't have, shows like Big Mouth or Letterkenny, which definitely should be on here, or Jack Ryan, which should be on here.
Isn't the point like underrated? Jack Ryan is highly rated.
Yeah, Jack Ryan a lot.
So, and as much as I love Big Mouth, so is Big Mouth.
Is it really though?
Yeah,
Dude, I mean, I feel like it's highly rated by people that we know, and there's a shitload of people
it got
out
renewed
there
for 4 more seasons. There's no way it's not like just huge.
I still think there's a ton of people missing out on that shit.
But I mean, Jack Ryan is huge. I stand by that. And Letterkenny can go suck an egg.
You're out of your mind.
Yep, I don't care.
I like the inclusion of The Boys because I think we all agree that show is underrated and really deserves a little bit more spotlight. And I like Love, Death, and Robots.
Death, and Robots is fantastic.
It's not the best thing, but it's definitely underrated for what it is.
It's
really
great. I mean, it's great because it's just an anthology. Like the shit's like if you don't like one episode, that's great. You don't like that episode. Next episode is going to be even better because it's a completely different thing. I really enjoyed Love, Death, and Robots. I was highly impressed with it. I wasn't expecting much out of it.
Yeah.
Rest of this list,
yeah.
I mean, I've heard of Undone. That's Amazon, right? I haven't watched it though.
So many Adult Swim.
Yeah, Adult Swim. I'm over here. I'm looking at this list going, all right, Thrillist, it sucks to suck. But then I want to turn your attention to the comments. And the top comment here is, why not list some that aren't on cable? Not all of us use cable or streaming. What shows would you possibly put on here? How many shows does PBS have? Is really,
I mean, that's the thing. Like, not all of us use cable or streaming. Then what do you do? Read?
Right. Then you're not.
You're just reading.
Anything.
You're not watching TV. Then you're just reading. Ugh, horrible list.
Right. So
yeah, no, and someone agrees with you about Letterkenny. But that's it.
2 Get Shorties, which I think are the same person, just with a different screen.
Isn't Get Shorty? They did a Get Shorty. They're doing a Get Shorty show. Isn't like Ray Romano in that?
Yeah.
Oh,
I've heard good things. no, Deborah,
no.
John Hamm doing Ray Romano.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. I mean, it's a shitty list. You know what should be on there? Fucking Barry, because even though Barry,
Didn't that just
gets
get nominated for a bunch of awards.
I don't think you can put anything on HBO as underrated.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can.
Really?
No one watches Barry. Yeah. Not enough people
no one
watch
watches
Barry.
it because it's not very good.
Have you fucking seen it?
Yes.
It's great.
I
You're
watched
wrong.
several episodes. I don't like it.
You are wrong, and you're.
I don't know what you just. This is the hill Brian dies on, by the way. I don't know if you know that. That's it. Barry is the hill that he will die on. I'm just so you're prepared.
I don't need to die on this hill. I have people on how I know will defend me.
I understand you and Barry have a very tight relationship.
There are listeners who will come to my defense and my aid.
So, listener, what we would like to do is to hear your underrated shows of 2019, and let's make our own list. Let's get some shows out there that people aren't watching. I would argue the Goldberg should be on this because that show is fucking amazing. And
No, this list is terrible.
got a little bit of streaming updates for you. Streaming update. Sony is shutting down PlayStation Vue in early 2020.
Oh no. I used it all the time though.
That was the thing. I think like even DirecTV Now, which is now AT&T TV or whatever it's called, has more customers than PlayStation Vue. It's just not there. They just don't have the numbers. I think they needed more than 500,000 people, which is pretty much lousy for them. Considering that there's 100 million PlayStation 4s out in the world right now, there's 500,000 people using PlayStation Vue. So goodbye. The reason I bring it up though is it was an early contender in the streaming wars along with Sling TV and other things. So it's just time to see it go out into the pasture and die. And there's a couple of people that I know that listen to the show that are/were subscribers of this. So hope you guys are getting your next thing set up because January 30th, 2020, it's out of here. Brian Thornton.
Yeah.
We've already mentioned this man once before, and it's time to bring it back up because Paul Feig.
Fall Feig.
And his brother Paul Feig. Paul Feig back in the news for this episode because it looks like that he is resurrecting. Let me read the notes here. What? The Dark Universe. So
this will be the fourth time we've tried to do a Dark Universe.
Really not giving up on it.
No, here's the thing.
Okay,
I'm going to remove Paul Feig from the headline for a second.
All right, let's do that.
The Dark Universe has been tried 4 times now. I don't know what they're. Here's the thing. It's a good idea. Like, I would watch movies that connected with Frankenstein and the Mummy and the Wolfman. That's a cool idea. I don't know what they're doing that they can't figure it out. Hollywood,
Tom
I have
Cruise
ideas.
ran
I
in that
have
movie.
ideas.
These are not blockbuster movies.
They absolutely are.
They're
They
not.
absolutely are. They absolutely are. There's a Dracula TV show. You kidding me? There's a Dracula movie.
Outside of Dracula. Outside of Dracula.
You can't say outside of Dracula.
That
is a part of this.
I can. Outside of Dracula, like the rest of those are kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not clamoring to go see the Wolfman. I'll be
No
honest.
Wolfman, no Mummy, no Frankenstein. Nobody gives a shit outside of Dracula.
The project
people like vampires.
So you don't think that all of these supernatural thrillers and romantic comedies and stuff like Warm Bodies and Zombieland and Twilight and all that shit, you don't think there's a market for that? Because that's what these movies are.
You just mentioned movies that are over 15 years old.
I didn't. I mentioned Zombieland, which just came out a month ago.
No, Zombieland came out.
The sequel to it came out a month ago.
Everything vampire, you get an automatic crowd. And everything zombie, you get an automatic crowd. So I'm going to disqualify those two things because they're automatic. They always have been. The rest of the attempts,
they have not always been, but okay.
Dude, in our lifetime, I mean, since Interview with the Vampire's automatic.
Dracula 2000, Queen of the Damned.
People saw those movies.
Dracula Untold bombed at the box office.
Okay.
All
those
movies
three
I just named
fucking
bombed
Blade
at the box
movies
office.
People saw.
Blade is Marvel.
I don't give a shit where it came from. It's a fucking vampire movie.
You cannot lump that into this argument. It is a superhero movie. It is a superhero movie with vampires.
As a vampire
it's not.
It's a vampire movie.
It's a vampire movie.
It is in no way a superhero
regardless,
movie.
I'll give you Blade 1, even though Blade 2 and Blade 3 hurt at the box office as well. That's why there's no more Blade movies.
You can't put vampires and now because of the Walking Dead fame, zombies in with the rest of this Dark Universe shit.
You absolutely
The Wolfman and the Mummy, Brian, are not draws. Can we agree on that?
I
The
can
Wolfman and Mummy. Can we agree on that fact? Correct.
the
Yes, mummies.
no because I
Mummies?
think
Really.
no, because my argument is not the characters. My argument is the whole idea of these supernatural movies or television shows or things like that. People eat that shit up. There is a show called Supernatural that's been on since I graduated high school. That's all about this shit. The people do enjoy these movies if it's done right.
And Paul
just don't
Feig
do it
is the
right.
man to
you're,
do it,
you're
right?
catering to a super small cross section.
You are also arguing over one point that I made that I thought the idea and the concept was a good idea. I haven't even gotten to Paul Feig picking it up yet.
We'll get to Paul Feig picking it up because here's the deal. He is working on the movie called Dark Army, and he was on the podcast Coming Soon, and he literally said, quote, "Oh, I turned it into the Dark Universe people, and now it goes over to the heads of Universal," which means there's people that are still working on the Dark Universe. They're still doing it. There's people who's got a business card, who's got a Dark Universe logo, handing it out to people. I thought this was dead.
First and foremost, I don't think that's how that works at all.
There
I don't
is a
think there's-
business card with the
I don't
Dark
think there's a
Universe
business
logo.
card that just says
Are you
Dark
kidding
Universe
me?
on it.
Yes, it is. You know
I don't
it
think
is.
so.
I'm gonna get one now and hand it to you. And be like, ha ha! With
Here's the thing.
smugness.
I think it's a good idea, and I think it could be executed very well. I also think that the concept of a shared universe movie series has only been done successfully once. So, dude, if Paul Feig strikes oil and somehow makes it work, good for him. But like you're not talking about Paul Feig is the grand. He's not like the Kevin Feige for the Dark Universe. He's
No.
doing a movie
Yes.
that some studio head who will probably screw it up is going to try and connect to their overall Dark Universe plan. So, I mean, whatever. I'll see a trailer. I mean, I think these movies are cool. I think it's a good idea. We'll see what a trailer looks like. I saw the trailer for The Mummy with Tom Cruise. I wasn't impressed. That's why I didn't see it. So we'll see. When's the Stark Army movie supposed to come out? He said he turned in a script.
He just turned in a script.
Oh, they haven't even filmed yet. We're talking about something like,
Dude, we haven't
5
even
years
hired
down the line.
We haven't even approved the story.
dude, freaking Marvel Phase 8 is going to be wrapping up by the time that shit starts up again.
There was also some other news when it came to the streaming services this week that got really out of control and thankfully got resolved pretty quickly. And that was a tweet from Netflix that was or a report from Netflix saying that they were testing out, right, controlling playback speeds on Android devices to say, hey, during those boring episodes or the ones where you just need to go forward and go a little bit faster, let's just up the playing speed. So the likes of Judd Apatow, oh god, what's his name? Guy who played fucking Jesse.
Aaron Paul
Got in there saying, no, Netflix, please don't do this. So before we talk about the resolution of this, I know you guys have very strong feelings about this before, because I've mentioned I do this for YouTube videos, but I don't do it for movies. What do you guys think about playing content at faster speeds?
That's the stupidest fucking thing ever. And I yell at you every time you do it. You're missing shit. You're missing shit when you do that. I'm sorry. Maybe not on a YouTube video because it's just some blogger talking to a camera.
Correct.
But if you do that for something that like has a story, has like hidden things, has like, you know, a momentum to it,
right?
You're missing shit.
Again, like I do it for podcasts, and I do it for YouTube videos. I'm not doing it on actual Netflix content or Hulu or anything I'm actually watching. So pretty dumb idea, but that's okay. So everyone agreed with you. This is a really dumb idea. And Netflix is like, whoa. We didn't say we were doing this like for real. Like, we don't have plans to roll this out on a larger scale. It's just the feedback that we receive from Android people. This is actually a very common asked for feature.
Oh yeah, of course the Android people ask for it. Fucking savages.
And you know what? For the once, Brian, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Yes.
And I know we have Android people who listen to the podcast. I'm including you as well.
Yeah, I agree. But hey, they're not rolling out to your TV or stuff like that, so just sticking to Android. No plans coming to iOS. No plans coming to a TV or Roku or anything like that. But man, for a moment I thought we were gonna have to talk Netflix off the ledge. But of course, this is just something we're testing. We're not really doing it. Glad to see that's over. All right, let's buckle in. Let's brace ourselves up because we got a lot of news to kind of plow through here. We did get some news that the showrunners, we do get the news that the minds behind Game of Thrones, who weren't supposed to be in charge of a Star Wars trilogy, are no longer doing Star Wars.
Oh no!
They're going to be focusing on their network, on their Netflix project. So Benioff and Wise are no longer going to be doing Star Wars, and I think we're all a little relieved.
Slightly.
Really? Why only slightly?
I mean, I would have been interested to see what they came up with, but I mean, if they're going to be greedy bastards and just count their Netflix money, then see ya.
I have a feeling that wasn't how this went down.
I actually heard that's how it went down.
Oh, really?
I heard from a couple different podcast sources.
Oh, okay.
But that's how it went down.
I know they have a $200 million a year or multi-million-dollar deal with Netflix, like insane
Something like that. Yeah.
I honestly thought this was Disney going, so we actually just watched Game of Thrones. Sorry, we're a little
maybe
behind.
a little bit of that too.
And we don't. Please don't come over here. We already have mad fans. Can you not piss us off anymore, please? Thank you.
Could be a little bit of that. I mean, I wouldn't blame them. Would you?
No, Josh. I knew you weren't as critical as
I care about this not at all.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say you don't care that they're
Moving on.
they're gone. All right. This is just a mini segment, guys. Just a mini, really quick one. It's not TV, it's HBO. Oh, God, there's a lot of HBO news. Okay, so HBO streaming, HBO Max has been announced. It will be coming out in May of 2020 for $15 a month, which is the same cost as HBO and HBO Go and all that fun stuff. So if you're on that, just get off of it and get on that one. We also announced that Game of Thrones has canceled their Game of Thrones prequel starring Naomi Watts, but have announced a different spinoff called House of the Dragon. So goodbye, Naomi Watts, and hello, a new Game of Thrones spinoff. So
yeah, you know what they're gonna do?
What's that?
They're gonna do what every streaming service does, and they're gonna make this just on their streaming service exclusively. So if you want to watch Game of Thrones, you better sign up for HBO. Holy fuck, like whatever it's being called.
HBO Max. Because it's not just the HBO content, it's also the Warner Media content, but HBO is the brand name that they chose to go after. So
That's the right decision.
It's the right decision, but it is way too much money. $15 is not.
But here's the thing:
competitive.
That's how much HBO now is.
That's the thing. That's the only reason why it's okay is because you're already paying for HBO at that cost. So just switch over to this. And if,
I already have that. Plus, I get all the Warner Brothers stuff too. Good.
Right. And plus, if you're an AT&T customer...
Don't you think you should just automatically be just grandfathered in?
Here's the deal, Brian. If you are an AT&T customer, right, or you have DirecTV and you pay it through the AT&T bill, I don't understand the logistics of that one, you get HBO Max for free. If you pay for HBO directly through HBO and or AT&T, you also get converted to HBO Max for free. But if you pay through HBO through your TV provider or through Apple or through another service provider to get that, you do not get migrated over to HBO Max for free, but you just change it over. So those customers
do they
are
not
getting...
still get my money if I'm paying it through someone else?
Yes.
Okay,
But
so why am I penalized?
Because they get a smaller cut.
Stupid.
Well, welcome to the world.
Too much money. Stupid.
Now,
you're stupid.
We're still talking about HBO, but it's important to know that the world of comics, right? It affects TV, it affects movies, it also affects HBO, but it affects Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do a little mini Cape Talk.
A mini Cape Talk?
Yeah.
Does that just sound Cape Talk? Is that what it sounds like?
So, Brian, with HBO Max, we are also getting a lot of content that you would normally see on the DC Universe app, kind of moving over to HBO Max. We got all live, or there's a list of live action DC movies.
Is it moving over? I don't know. Because in all of these HBO articles, there is nothing about what's happening with DC Universe. What is happening to DC Universe?
Why are you so mad, bro?
Because you're going to have to pay for HBO.
No,
hold on. Because you're going to pay for DC Universe because you want the comics online, you want all the catalogs, you want the originals, and then you're going to also have HBO Max. Why not put this all under
Well, there's
one
already
umbrella?
that. Didn't we get you and I spent $75 for like 18 months or 15 months or whatever?
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no,
so
I
like,
still have it.
Right. So, I mean, I'm a few months ahead of that anyway. I'm not really worried about it. And then even after the fact, it's what, $5 a month or whatever?
Yeah, I'm not worried about. I am worried about the cost because let's face it, all this stuff is adding up. But I'm just confused because I have a platform that I pay for, and now they're talking about adding DC movies to HBO Max and adding a new Green Lantern TV show by All Hail Greg Berlanti on HBO Max. And I'm wondering, am I going to be able to see this shit on my DC universe if I don't get HBO Max? That's what I'm worried about.
Don't you already have HBO through your provider?
Through my cable provider.
Then you're gonna have HBO Max.
I gotcha.
Well, then what are you even
For a
talking
year.
about?
But why pay for the DC universe if all the stuff is going to be on HBO Max? Why am I giving Warner Brothers the extra money when they should just roll it all into one thing?
I kind of feel like you're just like you're making a thing out of nothing.
I'm not really. Like, they're double dipping. They're triple stamping a double stamp.
You can triple stamp a double stamp. You just can't do that, Josh.
I don't know. I think they need to address it. I think they owe it to people who did pay $75 for 18 months of this stuff to at least address what is happening with DC Universe.
So the list of DC movies that are going to be coming to HBO Max, it's a long list, but we got Superman, Batman, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, Catwoman, Constantine, Superman Returns, Green Lantern, a lot of other things, including some exclusive stuff from the DC Extended Universe like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, Justice League, Aquaman, and Shazam. All of that is coming over to HBO Max, which really does lead the question, besides the comic books.
In the year somewhere between 2020 and 2021.
Yes.
Well, okay. So there's time. Just everybody calm down.
Brian, tell me more about this Green Lantern TV show, though. What's going
I know
on
nothing
with this?
about it. Greg Berlanti, Green Lantern. I'm excited. Fully tumescent.
Yeah, I don't really think anything more needs to be said about it. It's,
Well,
it's Greg
you know, they've
Berlanti.
already
Here's my
made-
question. Is it going to be connected with the DC Universe stuff? Is it going to be connected to Titans?
I hope so. They've already made like 3 references to Green Lantern in like Arrow.
Yeah.
They've referenced Coast City at least twice and Ferris Air. I hope it's connected. If it's not connected, I'm going to rage against the machine.
And then will it be on DC Universe?
I don't know. These are the questions I'm asking, CJ.
Well, now that Brian's done raging against the machine, let's turn the attention to me about my favorite hobby, where I go around the internet, I find the weird, I find the obscure, and then I ask these two gentlemen for their tech perspective.
For the record, I'm never done raging against the machine. I'm always raging.
Joshua Evelyn Burns.
Yes.
Microsoft has made a program that not only lets you lease a Xbox One, but it also gives you Xbox Live and their Xbox Game Pass, and then gives you the option to get a console in the future. So since I thought that this had to do with dollars and cents, I would stay the hell out of it, and I would want to hear your take on it. Can you tell me about this program?
Yeah. So essentially, they're going to offer 3 packages, and I'm going to simplify it by eliminating the digital only console. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, there are really only 2 things at play here, and for me, it really just it's going to boil down to value, but there's also a timing wrinkle in here. So I see things about Project Scarlet, but I don't know when this new machine is going to launch. Does anybody know?
It's very soon, early, I think, next year. Or mid.
Sometime in 2020, not early next year.
Okay, so I mean, historically, these things launch just before like the holidays, right?
It's going to be like Q3 of next year.
Right. So October, November, just in time for everybody to be sold out. So here's where I'm at with this. You're talking about once we factor out what you may already be paying for Xbox Live or whatever it's called, Game Pass,
At least
or
$50
whatever.
a year, or
Well,
60.
Yeah. So what people are paying now is $10 a month, right?
Right, or 60 for the year.
Right. So I'm going on their
Let's go on the monthly part, because that's what we're talking about really is monthly.
Right, their Game Pass. Everything here is monthly. So I'm just going to boil it down to what you'd be paying a month. If we factor that out, it's really the difference between $250 or $150 annually is what you end up paying.
For what?
For an $250 gets you an Xbox One X. It gets you 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate. It gets you a 12-month console upgrade if you do it within whatever their limited time is. So here's why I say that the timing, there's a timing wrinkle. The other console, the Xbox One S, that you're going to save. Obviously, it's going to cost you essentially $150 annually. more or less. That's an 18-month console upgrade option, which means that no matter what, you're going to be waiting 6 months past when this next gen console comes out. Now, the only reason that I would even say jump at it and spend a little bit more money is obviously you're going to get the benefit of that 12-month upgrade option. You're going to be able to take advantage of the early release. And then you're not going to see another next gen console for 4 or 5 years. So you're going to have time to sort of, once it's paid off, you just get out of it or whatever. But like, this isn't a bad option, CJ.
Yeah,
it's
so
just
the nuts and bolts of this, right, is I'm leasing essentially my Xbox.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
getting the online Game Pass with Xbox Live, so I'm getting the games as well as getting the ability to play online. And
Right.
then after 12 or 18 months, when Project Scarlet is out,
right.
they will say, give us back your Xbox S or your Xbox One X, and we will now give you Project Scarlet and continue to pay us money. So it's basically console as a service.
You're gonna
my
spend
God.
Brian. You're gonna spend $500 on the console anyway.
I'm not going to spend jack shit on the console because here's what I'm hearing. Microsoft's system sucks so much
No,
that they need to create an installment billing plan.
Not you, Brian. I'm not talking. I think we've all already agreed that PlayStation is
I
far,
think
as
this
far
is a
eclipsed it.
wonderful idea if you were planning on buying an Xbox for that one game that you might play sometime down the line. That's fine. But the fact of the matter is this: Xbox is not a good enough console because this is why they're coming up with this.
Yeah, but we're not arguing that part.
We're well past that.
You're arguing the numbers. The numbers make sense. I'm with you, but it's not a system even worth putting this into for me.
Again, that isn't a factor. You have to shut up about it not being worth it because for some people it is. So it doesn't matter whether you think it's a good console or not. There are some people that are Xbox loyal.
I was told I could share my opinions in a recorded format 220 weeks ago.
And while your opinions are valid, they don't add any value to this particular topic.
Are you kidding me? I'm the only gamer in the three of us.
But you're dismissing Xbox as a console, which means your opinion is not adding value to the topic.
The point is this, Brian. There are, just as Josh said, there are people who are loyal to Xbox. You know that. I know that. It's just a thing. And there's also people who can't afford the upfront cost of getting not only an Xbox right now during the holidays, but then also the new one next year. They just bought a console for $500. They're not going to put down another $500 in 12 months because Timmy's all upset that he doesn't have the new one.
And your trade-in value is what does the trade-in value of the last gen console go for?
I think GameStop gives you like 7 cents and like maybe a wooden nickel.
No, I'm serious, Brian. You probably know that, right?
No, I probably do, but the first and foremost is you don't trade in consoles anymore because new consoles are never backwards compatible. Trading in my console means I don't get to play any of those games anymore and getting rid of my entire game library as well. But you could probably get like, I don't know, maybe $150.
Yeah.
Okay.
But here's the deal. I will argue your point of there are Xbox loyalists. Those Xbox loyalists bought the Xbox One 4 years ago when it first dropped because they're Xbox loyal.
Correct.
This is a great option for parents who can't exactly afford the $500 right now. I agree with you there. And hey, if you don't love your kid enough to buy them a PlayStation, that's fine. Go with this.
Wow. All right.
Nuts and bolts of it, CJ. $250 a year is what it boils down to.
Not bad.
Over what you're already paying.
Right.
Okay. So forget about anything else. You're going to cancel everything, and it's going to equal out to about an additional $250 a year. You get a new console, and then you get the next gen console in 12 months.
Are they hoping to do this for like
Ever.
indefinitely?
Yes.
Because
Or
here's the
honestly,
thing.
Microsoft's strategy right now is everything becomes as a service and everything becomes a subscription.
Here's the thing. They were very public about the fact that if the Xbox One did not sell the way they wanted it to, they were scrapping their entire gaming division, and it did not, and they are liars. So
there's
now
still
what
money
they're
to be
going
made.
to do, huh?
Because there's still money to be made.
Surprise! Microsoft doesn't know what they're doing in that one.
And but the money to be made is right here. It's in subscription.
This is where your money. I mean, this is money.
Right.
Sure. I'm with you. That's what I'm saying.
Let me ask you a question for this, Brian. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let me ask you a
Your question is, if Sony were to do this for the PlayStation, would I do it? And I would seriously consider it. because I know I'm always going to get the next PlayStation. You know, that's me. I think this is coming. Well, I mean, it's coming, I guess, at the right time because Scarlet is launching soon. But
And the holidays are coming.
I feel you there. I don't know how I personally feel. I would consider it if Sony were to do this. I don't know how I personally feel about locking myself in a contract for my video game console. And the other thing is, going back to my original point, I don't like the idea of giving away my console at the end of my 18 months to upgrade to the next thing.
And my understanding is that the Project Scarlet, and I even believe the PlayStation 5, from what I'm hearing too, is backwards compatible with all the other consoles.
Yeah, allegedly. They said the same thing. They said the same thing about Xbox One and PlayStation 4 before they launched. Yeah. And then right before launch, they're like, well, we did all these other specs. We can't figure out how to do the backwards compatibility, and it wasn't backwards compatible. We haven't had a backwards compatible system since PlayStation 2 in like freaking 2001. So I'm not banking on the fact that these next generation consoles are going to be able to play all my PS4 games. I don't like the idea of giving away my console and then making 30 or 40 games that I have purchased over that 5 years of that time period completely useless.
Right.
That makes no sense.
I think we've already identified that you are not the demographic.
Right.
This
also,
particular option.
Yeah, parents who don't love their children enough are. I get it.
Also, correction for you, the Wii was backwards compatible to the GameCube.
Okay. You're right. No, yeah, I'll give you that.
The bottom line is this. On this podcast, we cover a lot of different things, and there are a lot of people who are Xbox loyalists, or people who are interested in this, or people who have families that maybe they want to get their young kids an Xbox. This is a pretty economical way to go ahead and do it. I do agree with Brian's larger standpoint, which is if you don't love your kids, go ahead and do them dirty and buy them the Xbox. But, you know, PlayStation 4 is better. And I own an Xbox, and I'm saying this, so I agree with you.
I had apple pie today. I'm feisty.
Wow, that topic went a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. I did not think that was going to be the hot button issue of this week. So, thanks for that. Hey, finally, listener, we actually want to have a quick conversation about something, but I want to give you the opportunity to leave in case you haven't seen the new HBO series Watchmen. It is the continuation.
Or in case you want to go play your PlayStation 4 because you're a smart listener.
There you go. So if you are not interested in Watchmen at all, hey, listen, thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood, your drive to work. Make sure to give us a 5-star review on iTunes because this episode was awesome. But stick around because this show on HBO is pretty darn interesting, and we want to talk about the first 2 episodes that we've watched. This isn't going to be every single episode, every single week. We're going to do this in a little bit of chunks so you can get some time to catch up. But let's talk about Watchmen on HBO. So first off, I
watched The Watchmen.
I'm glad you did. I have a lot of questions about this, but bottom line, first impressions, this is pretty freaking cool. Like I'm really intrigued. It has the potential to go south really quick, but as of these 2 episodes, I'm bought in. I'm definitely going to watch next week. I'm super intrigued. What were your first impressions of this? These 2 episodes.
I mean, I thought they were very cool episodes. I just don't know what the hell's going on. Like I'm having, I got a lot of questions.
Definitely moving on to a speeding train and I'm just trying to catch on.
How is Tulsa the setting for this?
Right.
I don't.
And then when I saw the squid, I was like, okay, I saw Dr. Manhattan on Mars. We're following the movie, but are we following the comic book too? Where did we intersect?
We don't.
So, you're just completely going to skip over my first impressions?
No, I was coming to you.
That's fine.
You had a look of please wait for me and call me in a moment.
Dr. Manhattan always ends up on Mars in the comic book as well. So
I know.
The squids is a callback to the comic book. I don't know where they're drawing from. I will say this. I think I was on record when we were talking about this show as saying, I love this book. And I was like, I don't want to see another adaptation. Like, I think I'm on record as saying this could go very, very good or very bad.
Yes.
Right?
I believe you are as well.
I think my request was don't give me the story. Give me another story in this universe. And that's what they've done. And I'm very intrigued. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's the greatest show ever just yet. But I'm interested.
Not yet.
Definitely not, right.
There's a lot of stuff going on. This is definitely a show you got to pay attention.
You cannot look away.
I guarantee you, like things that happened in these first 2 episodes, little background things that you were not paying attention to, are going to become bigger deals
Oh yeah.
4, 5, 6 episodes from now. So it's definitely one of those shows. I can tell you that because Damon Lindelof is the showrunner and he's writing it. Like that's just what he does as a writer. But yeah, like I'm very interested. I think the kind of alternate history or alternate reality we're in this series is very cool. It's a world I want to explore. It's interesting. Regina King's a badass.
Oh yeah.
Like she's great. Jeremy
yeah.
Irons is great as Ozymandias.
Yep.
I couldn't imagine anybody better.
Well, I mean, yeah, but the world doesn't know he exists except he's got all these clones.
This is one of the many questions I'm having.
Right.
Right.
I legit am like, I don't know. Like I'm getting a bead on like what's happening with the cops and
Right. I
you
get
know,
what's happening in Tulsa. That
I get that. I have no idea what he's doing
I like we haven't scratched the surface of that backstory yet.
at all.
Right.
I'm interested.
and-
And like for the first like 45 minutes of the episode of the first episode, I'm sitting here like, this didn't need to be called Watchmen. You could have done this and removed all the Watchmen references. And then all of a sudden it starts becoming more ingrained in the stuff that happened in the Watchmen book. And I'm like, okay. So I'm curious. I asked my wife to watch it because I'm very curious to see. She knows nothing about the comic book. Are you still going to enjoy this as much as I'm enjoying this? I will report back later. But I asked her to watch the first 2 episodes and give me her thoughts. And we'll see if do you need that as a primer going in, or are you good just going in cold?
So my wife has seen Watchmen, but it's been a very long time and she doesn't really remember it that well. Like she kept the high level stuff, but like when they're doing the play, right, the Ozymandias play, and it's literally the story of how Dr. Manhattan was created.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "What's with the watch?" I was like, "It's Dr. Manhattan's." Oh, okay, all right. Or the squids are raining. Why is it raining squids? Well, actually, that's a slight little callback to the comics. We never did that in the movie. Oh, okay. And as more of those things become apparent, or like we're seeing like the Rorschach masks and kind of seeing what's going on. She's like, that's Rorschach, right? I remember like. I think you need to have an understanding, but I don't think you need to have working knowledge.
How did
of it.
Like, why did that become the face of the 7th Cavalry? You know what I mean? Like, I'm having. That's the one thing that I don't
I think I can
understand
answer that for you.
Please do.
Please.
I think I can answer that for you, and this is just pure conjecture. This is just a guess based on what I know about things.
That is what conjecture means. Thank you.
I know. That's why I used the freaking word.
Yeah, but then you explained it.
Do you know?
Anyway, I think the reason behind that is we're living. I mean, considering how Watchmen ends, whether it's the movie or the comic book, Watchmen ends with a new world order built by Ozymandias, and everybody has to go along with it except Rorschach refuses, right?
Right.
Rorschach is the one who's like, nope, I will tell everybody, I will go public, and they kill him.
Got him right.
They don't kill him.
Dr. Manhattan kills
does,
him.
right.
Yes.
Right, but I mean, sub in anybody. Ozymandias was going to make sure that he was not going to talk.
Correct.
I think also in this world, considering that like we haven't referenced the fact that his journal came out and
Right.
it's out there, whether it got published or not. You don't think someone as powerful as Ozymandias is then going to demonize the man who has the ability to tear him down? I think Ozymandias painted this picture of Rorschach being a fascist and he was crazy. And now you have actual fascists who adopt that because that's what they were told this guy was. Does that make sense? Did I explain that okay?
Yeah.
Well, so the only thing again, if we're going to go like that kind of right wing sort of nut job, I mean, he did send the thing to the New Frontiersman. That was kind of.
I know. You don't know if it was ever published. The book and the movie are very ambiguous about whether or not
anything happens for two.
editor can pick it up and say, no, this is trash, I'm not publishing it. So no one could have seen it. My point is, people know who Rorschach was. He was a prolific superhero. He was a part of the Minutemen during the 80s. You don't think someone who wants to ruin somebody and ruin their character, you put that label on them. Now no longer Rorschach's not a hero. He's crazy. He's a crazy nut job. And now you have all of these extremely radical people adopting
And
that
I
as
think-
their mind.
All right.
I think we're
I'm gonna
going to
need to
see
see
the.
how it plays
I think
out.
we're going to get the explanation of that, Josh, in that American Hero TV show. I think they're covering superheroes, and I think at one point we're going to see what the world thinks of what the altered history, what the doctored history of Rorschach ends up to be in that TV show as well. I think that's going
But
to play a part into it.
the only guy we've seen so far in that is Hooded Justice, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was in the clips, but in the clips we also see the original Watchmen.
The original Minutemen.
You see the
You
com-
see the
No,
Innocent
right.
Spectre,
But I'm
Comedian.
saying there's a focus on Hooded Justice.
If they
in
don't
this
get Jeffrey
season.
Dean Morgan to play the comedian, I'm going to be so upset.
I don't think
Well, I
they're going
don't-
to have him. I don't
He
think
was
the comedian's
perfect.
but I don't think the comedian is going to be.
He's going to be a part of that show.
Yeah, but the show's an actor playing that person. You're not going to actually see Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
But they can have an actor
it's
named
like-
Jeffrey Dean
it's like
Morgan play him.
Unsolved Mysteries.
It could be Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing himself, playing the
Yeah,
comedian.
it's
Tongue in cheek. Come on, man.
listen, the first two
It's
episodes
meta. Get on my level.
definitely have me going. Oh, I don't understand this. Okay, maybe that gets explained. You're starting to pick up on how this world is different, but how it's the same. Like where things kind of are, and I think that's the one thing that right now that's why I'm like this show could go good, go bad is they're not explaining everything, which I don't need them to, but the things that I would like a little clarification on are just like, hey, how does the world operate? They're telling me later. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I'll follow that up in 30 minutes
Yeah.
when you want to tell it to me.
It's the Lou Gossett Jr. storyline that has me sort of the most confused. Watch over this boy. That ends up, I'm glad that Lou Gossett Jr. is doing work.
He's got to have some sort of
Obviously.
but like
Friends in high places.
I don't know. That's that part that's interesting. I'm just gonna say I really like this Looking Glass character.
Yeah, I was just
I
going to
think
say
he is-
Tim Blake Nelson killing it.
I think not only is his like design cool and everything, but like that Tim Blake Nelson is awesome.
He's a really
Just as
good
this like
actor.
really subdued character.
Yep.
Like
He reminds me of Rorschach a little bit.
he reminds me of the opposite of Rorschach. Rorschach was angry.
Right.
Rorschach was on the constantly on the edge of
Correct.
I will kill you.
Yes.
This guy is just totally like the exact opposite. Like
But
Yeah,
very
he's,
subdued.
the Red Scare is more a Rorschach type.
Which, by the way, everyone else's costume is fantastic. And then there's Red Scare, and I'm like,
Red
tracksuit-
Scare and the Panda guy.
Yeah, Panda's also pretty bad
and
too.
the panda guy cracks me
When I
up
looked
though.
at it, I was like, is there a furry in the crowd? And then I
Like
saw
he's always
this,
fucking quoting the rules.
And then that's great. Like, right at the
But it's
beginning,
like,
the guy's
oh,
like, okay,
fucking
let me get
Karen,
Panda.
shut up over there.
Well, in order to do that, you have to authorize and that everyone here feels bad. Does everybody feel threatened? Yeah. Shut the fuck up, Panda. We're getting guns.
Yeah, no, that I'm
and
just,
Don Johnson, he's like, it's gonna be it's my funeral. I'm like, oh, so you're dead.
Oh, by the
Gotcha.
way, I was really upset at myself that it didn't literally catch the foreshadowing at the very beginning of that episode where they're hanging the sheriff, and I'm like, wow, that was weird. What does that have to do with anything? And then right before it happens, I'm like, oh, I'm an idiot. Oh, you told me you were gonna do this, and I was like, fuck off with that. And then you did it. I was like, oh, thanks for killing him. All right. Please more flashbacks though with Don Johnson because I like him as an actor.
Well,
No.
we're gonna need it to understand how her story, how what Sister Night, and how that plays out.
Yeah.
there is most certainly stuff that there's things that more to that character, more to Don Johnson's character that they are not saying.
So while I'm not ready to go, this is the next giant HBO explosion.
It's close.
It's close. It's a powder keg type show.
When Westworld season 3 drops, it's going to have like a solid leading because I'm pretty sure Westworld is supposed to play before this.
okay.
So
really?
you're gonna have 2 hours of hey Westworld, and you're gonna get more people watching Watchmen because they watched Westworld, and like let's face it,
Why did
if you like
I feel
Westworld, you're gonna like Watchmen.
Why did I feel like
Honest.
Watchmen was on Monday night? Is it on Sunday?
I'm pretty sure it's on Sunday.
I just really hope that Damien Lindelof doesn't kind of.
It is on Sunday, Brian.
Word, more rightness.
I'm really hoping that
My time is now.
I'm really hoping that this doesn't become a leftover situation where I was really intrigued by season 1, and then by season 2, I'm like, okay, and then by season 3, I'm like, I'm not watching this anymore.
You know, I think I hear Craig Newcomb screaming, "It's Sunday at 9, asshole." Well, all the good things happen Sunday at 9.
Well, we'll see. Anyway, I definitely would love to hear you, listener, and love to hear about what you think about this show. If you're watching it, we all have questions. We all have theories. We're all just kind of keeping it close to the vest right now, but love to hear your thoughts on this. One question, why do tomatoes grow on trees? But okay, I guess that's just a thing we're dealing with now. Tomatoes are on trees, people. Anyway, the show looks really good. I'm really excited for it. Anything anyone else has to add?
Nah.
Just very confused by your tomato thing. But
The
okay.
tomato was on a tree. He was riding on the horse, and there was a tomato on a tree.
Sure.
Why
totally.
were tomatoes on trees, Brian?
Because Ozymandias dabbles in genetic mutations. Like that was established in the graphic novel.
Show it a different way. A tomato
So
on
maybe,
a tree?
so
What are you
maybe
doing to
he
me?
made a freaking tree with tomatoes on it. Maybe he doesn't like going into the earth for his tomatoes.
Well, I thought
He's got clones, and you're asking about the tomato tree.
Hey,
Seriously.
hey, no one brought up
One
the
of those
tomato tree yet.
clones is Ichabod Crane from Sleepy Hollow.
Oh.
The guy clone, yeah.
Also, we already saw one dick in this episode.
Oh yeah, I was very excited for that. I lived from the moment I was like, if I don't see a blue dick,
Everywhere.
I'm out.
Painted blue dick. That happens. Well, you listener, you are the true fan because you made it all the way through to the end of the episode. You know what that means? Go give us a 5-star review on iTunes. You obviously love this show. So thank you so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. And we'll talk to you next week.
Well, welcome to the club, because you are that kind of nerd.
Cranberry.
I've got air because I forgot to get me a seltzer.
You can talk about my seltzer. It's La Croix
LaCroix,
mango.
it's yelled mango. So, hopefully something will happen.
It tastes like mango.
Okay, well, that's a plus. I had your buble today. Not a fan. Not a fan of the buble. Michael Bublé is lovely, but your bubbly seltzer just doesn't have the qualities that I'm looking for.
I
There's
drank
not
about
enough
two
bubbles.
pots. It's about 2 pots of coffee in me. So
Not enough bubbles. Are you saying my buble is not girthy enough for you?
Your buble, right, is very much sparkling water, not seltzer, and there's a difference between the two.
yeah,
I don't need tiny little microscopic bubbles. I need bubbles.
I prefer the sparkling water. Like the seltzer gets aggressive.
I like
what I'm
the
saying.
aggressiveness.
Like I don't need to be assaulted with bubbles.
Oh,
I just want a little bit.
Yeah, no. Replacing a fucking soda, like just do it.
Now I find the sparkly ones are more like soda bubbles, so bigger and fewer, and seltzer is like
Well-
a bajillion tiny bubbles.
Well, let's be honest about what we're talking about. You're talking about Pepsi bubbles, so you can go fuck right off with that shit.
I mean, Josh, as much as I appreciate the defense, he's got you there.
Well, fair enough, but I prefer it. I prefer the larger bubbles. It's like enjoying tapioca versus rice pudding.
What's wrong with rice pudding?
It's not as good as tapioca.
What?
I will
Once
ruin
you get past the initial unpleasantness of what like a tapioca thing is, like what is that? Am I eating like congealed bubble tea? Because that's kind of how it feels.
I don't even know what bubble tea is. Talk to
You
me.
don't know what bubble tea is?
What is bubble tea? It can't be tea if it's got bubbles.
So like fuck, there was a candy that was just like
tea
this.
is
All right,
liquid.
it's a thing the size of like a Whopper. You know the Whopper candies?
The Whopper candy.
Yeah,
the-
a Whopper.
The Whoppers.
Malt.
Oh,
like malt.
Whoppers. Not like the burger,
Right.
but the malt balls.
Correct.
Gotcha.
Okay, so it's that size, right? And
Okay.
it has the outer shell of, I would say, like a gusher, right? Just the outside shell of a gusher, all right?
None of this sounds good right now.
And then the inside of fuck you, that's what that is. What would you describe the inside as?
They're like chewy tapioca balls. They're just
God,
they're like
oh, so
largish
gross.
like largish
Sounds
pearls.
so gross.
And they put them in tea. People put them in tea on the
Yeah,
bottom.
I don't-
It's supposed to
I don't
infuse
drink
with
it.
flavor.
I don't drink it because it looks off-putting.
Yeah, it looks like an alien drink.
like something laid eggs in
Here,
my
have a
drink.
Glorgif. Oh, I don't want a Glorgif. No, thank you. No,
But
thank you.
some people love it.
Love it.
It's like some people love matcha, and I'm like, like I don't want to have to do the whole Mr. Miyagi tea ceremony before I drink my thing.
I had kombucha and I was like, this is not.
Oh, I bought, like, I was at of course you're at Whole Foods and you're like, there's a whole section of it.
Yep.
And it looks like tea, but it is decidedly not tea.
No.
Kombucha is nowhere, and it's like drinking chalk that tastes not unlike urine.
You guys just took a journey, and I was not along for that ride.
Well, If you
I
represent,
peapod my shit because in episode 10, Josh told me to take back my time.
Now I want tapioca pudding.
how do you want tapioca pudding?
Then go get yourself some tapioca pudding, sir.
That was Bartlett's favorite ice cream. Wasn't
I'm
it?
sure you could DoorDash it.
Or was it the Rocky Road? He went down with
I
Alan,
like
Alan
if
Alda,
we're,
and they
if
were eating ice cream together.
we're going ice cream, it's either got to be pistachio or like coffee.
Oh, it was pistachio. He had the pistachio with Alan
I
Alda.
love pistachio ice cream.
Yeah, he was talking about himself, not a TV character, CJ.
That's okay. I'm good for whatever Bartlett references you want.
Well,
Also,
let's-
pistachio?
Well, it is
What?
don't listen. The man's an American treasure. Let's not judge his ice cream flavors.
Who,
Okay?
Josh or Martin Sheen?
Both.
Yes.
And it's President Bartlett. Okay.
His name is Martin Sheen. He has done way more than just The West Wing. He has a prolific career. He was in Spawn. Spawn.
I celebrate his entire catalog of recorded works.
No, this is what would happen if it wasn't for the geniuses of the other two people here, right? But the two of you, there would be no segments because I was an idiot, and no one would lead the blockbuster.
And there would be no theme songs. And there would be no cast this. And there would be no
Hey,
Cape Talk.
Let's be honest as well.
There would be like
there still is no
nothing.
cast this. We haven't done cast this in so long.
That's not my fault. Get your shit together, CJ.
Why is that on me? That's not my
You
segment.
build the show.
That's not me.
You build the show. The one thing you do.
I am benevolent and all-knowing.
Oh, that's creepy.
So was your face.
Oh, yeah, that hurt.
Wow.